Just wanted to explain why the Janissary units are so bad.
Copa European! All praise to Allah! This is a most crushing victory! We live in marble and our foes in sand!
I'm here to show you that the Janissary Heavy Infantry are not as bad as you think, and one of the best, if not the best, two-hander unit in stainless steel 6.4 Medieval 2 Total War. The reason that I'm doing this is to disprove how Pixelated Apollo and other YouTubers criticize the Janissary Heavy Infantry for being too expensive or not good enough for their tier against like other units like the dismounted Feudal Knights. That may be true in the base game because all two-hander units have a glitch where they do not attack fast enough. And that literally weakens all two-hander units in base game Medieval 2. That's why mods fix this and make sure that two-hander units are effective. Now, what we'll be showing you is the Janissary Heavy Infantry against most of the good units of the game, the other best units from other nations of the world. Let's get started. And of course, these are the settings. We'll be using medium difficulty, as that is the most fair. Easy and hard and above make it unfair for either me or their side. Here are the Janissary, and here are the dismounted Feudal Knights. We'll test this theory out. Now, of course, the unit size is more because of their stat. They are an urban professional unit versus these, the elite regular feudal types. Then this will not be a problem for the Feudal Knights. We'll be fast forwarding this just to speed it up.
Enemy are badly bloodied. They have lost half their men. Our foe fights with horns made of clay. We are winning the battle.
I hate when they do this retreat shit, but as you can see,
Sultan, only our men have
not even
praise
close.
to Allah.
Alright, for this one, I want to test a two-hander. This is Y Honda. I want to see them out, test them out, as they have both the same unit, and they're both the two-hander perk. And if anything, as you can see here, they actually have better stats than the Janissaries.
Only half the enemy force remains. We must pray they lose their will to fight.
And remember,
Sultan,
these were even.
only half our force remains.
And yet, the Janissary infantry, yet again, with worse stats, were able to come out on top, as you can see right there. They have one more defensive skill, the Janissaries, but their armor is less and their charge is less too.
Praise to
And they blew
Allah,
them out of the
great
water.
victories.
Now again, we'll do it again. We'll be testing out multiple units of the better tiers of the Christian world and any other world that has better units like that. Another good test would be the HRV. Now, we already did them, but we will do the really good units of the dismounted Gothic foot knights. These are going to be very hard. You can see their armor is absolutely insane. They do more damage and have more charge. And we'll figure out if this is enough for them to lose the battle. This is definitely one of the hardest ones yet.
The enemy are badly bloodied. Allah have mercy. We have lost half of our men.
And it's actually really close right now. But now it's starting to come to the Janissary's favor.
Battle appears to be running in our favor. From good tidings such as these, the
surprisingly, they're not
enemy
running
flees
till
before
now.
us like a herd.
And
All
yet we
praise
win
to Allah.
with a
This
good amount
is
of
the
numbers
most
left
crushing
over.
victory.
Now we'll be testing out against the Varangian Guard, which is the first unit we're fighting with that has effective against armor, which the Janissaries have. So they do have less units, but will their effective against armor be enough to destroy the Janissaries?
The enemy are badly bloodied. Victory is well within our
Whenever
grasp.
they retreat, I
Time
go
our
back
foe
as
will
well
surely
to
see
not
this
get
and
killed
lose
on
heart.
them.
Allah have mercy. We have cut off the serpent's head.
Yet again,
Praise to
the
Allah.
Janissaries win
You have left our
again.
enemy.
Alright, as we've seen already, every single one that we've fought, we've won, and these are the highest tier units you can possibly get in the game. We'll be trying out another really good one. The Venetian, the very famed Venetian ones that are popular in multiplayer for how good they are. They are the armor-piercing, one-handed macemen, pretty much, from Venice. We'll be checking their stats right here. They do have way less attack, but they make up for it for having the effective against armor, and the shield itself with the high defense skill, considering their armor. And this one, I'm honestly am leaning more to Venice's side, but anything could happen.
The enemy are badly bloodied. They have lost half their men.
Even from the first initial engagement, I got way more kills than they did.
Victory! Our enemy flees before us like a herd of
I
goats.
want to test out the guillotines chosen, whatever how you say them, from Lithuania. I'll be playing as them to make it even more balanced, as I can say. But regardless, it's not that big of a deal. They do have way more men than me. At least not way more.
Heavy infantry!
And we'll test it out. Before so, we will look at the stats right here. 10-7, 10-6. But I do have a lot more better stuff like the frightened nearby infantry and whatnot. My armor is high, but my defense skill is much lower than theirs. We both have effective against armor.
My lord, only half of our force remains.
Never mind, they didn't even stand a chance. Yeah, they lost with flying colors.
The enemy are badly bloodied. They have lost half their men.
But good on them for fighting to the last man, but they still lost against the guillotines chosen. I have another unit after this, but I want to test out the Ritterruters to see if they are better than the Janissaries. This is one of the best, if not probably the best, one-handed units. 12-4, so much higher. 20 total defense, which is again much higher. Everything is better besides their armor, and they have one less defensive skill, but they do frighten, but also they do not have effective defense. But this will be a solid one.
Only half the enemy force remains. My lord, only half our force remains.
It would seem we have met our match. It seems the foot raiders have won this match.
Teufel! That was a close...
A retry of the same one, but this time I play as the Janissary. It seems like
Allah have mercy. We have lost half of our men. Only half the enemy force remains. We must pray they lose their will to fight.
Clearly this is not a fluke. The Ritters are stronger.
Of this defeat.
Even if barely, they are stronger. There's one last unit I want to check. This is the only time they've lost. Keep in mind of that. There's one last unit I want to try. The Tabaderia. Compare their stats. 11-5, less charge, 1 more damage. Pretty much same stats of the effective against armor, which is very, very useful. Very similar unit. Very similar. Same amount of units as well. Let's see who wins.
The enemy are badly bloodied. They have lost. Allah have mercy. We have lost half of our men.
It would seem that the Tabaderia will win this
well
fight.
within our grasp. We have cut off the serpent's head. The enemy general is slain. Let's see how these snakes fight without their head. All praise to Allah. This is a day of victory.
Not surprising,
Our foes
considering
lie dead or dying, as it
the
should
similar
be.
stats of the units. Check out their stats. 1 less charge, way more armor, but pretty similar across the board. Same with the effective against armor. It seems that the Shazgar are on top at the current moment.
Only half the enemy force
Yep,
remains.
they are winning this one for
We must
sure.
Sultan, Only half our force remains. Victory is well within our grasp. In time, our foe will surely see this and lose heart.
The Shah's Guard are coming out on top, and it seems that there are only 3 units in the entire mod itself that the Janissaries have lost against. And even when losing, they barely lost, in the sense where it's around 20 men or below. See the stats, they have less damage, and 1 less defense.
Lord have mercy.
It would seem
We
the
have lost.
Janissaries are
The
going to be
enemy
coming on
is
top
badly
here.
blooded. They have lost half their men.
Yep. Not a fair matchup, even though they
Lord
have
preserve
very
us.
similar stats.
We have been dealt a stinging defeat.
I tested the battle again to show the Janissary versus the refuter, because I want to show you how low the other units who do beat the Janissaries become. As you can see from this battle, the Janissaries do lose again, but they had 10 units left, which is even less than the other time that it happened. This is just to show you that the Janissaries, regardless if they do lose against the few units who do beat them, the specific 3, they barely lose. Regardless, Janissary heavy infantry have only lost against 3 of the other best units in the game, 2 of them being very similar to the Janissary heavy infantry model. That would be the Shah's Guard from the Khwarezmians and the Fatimid Caliphate having the Tabadiriya and the Teutonic Order with their refuter. That means that 2 of the other best units who were able to beat the Janissaries had their same style of playing with the two-handers and the effect against armor and the whatnot. Regardless of them winning, the Janissaries still were able to puncture them, and none of them were able to win with flying colors, and were defeated. Basically, were defeated to the point where their unit was not that useful anymore. Of course, that doesn't mean that they are better than those units. The Fatimids, the retributors of the Teutonic, and the Khwarezmians were able to beat them. But that does mean that at least if you do not believe they are the best unit in the game, even with the mod's abilities of them being an urban professional unit, then you have to admit that they are at least at the top 3, regardless of any other situation. Because again, like the Fatimids and the Khwarezmians, they were able to do it because of their similar stats, and if you would replay it, they would be practically pretty even, as they lost very similar amounts of men. They were down to a very little amount of men, as you saw from the footage earlier. The Janissary heavy infantry have now a record of 7-3 wins against the best units in the entire game for Stainless Steel 6.4 Medieval 2 Total War. The specific factions that they have lost against were first starting with either the HRE or the Teutonic Order's refuter, the dismounted ones, the Fatimid Sultanate Tabadiriya, which are basically a Janissary heavy infantry of their version of it, and then the Khwarezmian Empire's Shah's Guard, aka the Royal Guard. Two of these units that have bested them use the same model as the Janissary heavy infantry, and all of their victories were not stunning victories. They barely won and barely came out on top. Obviously, with strats or with battles, it could go mixed. It can go either your way or the other way of the Janissaries in an actual field battle or siege battle. And all of the victories that they have won usually with flying colors, whether it be the dismounted foot knights of any European power, whether it be the Guillotines Chosen, even Venice's elite unit, the Venetian Heavy Infantry, lost. One of the best units in Medieval 2 base game especially. None of these ones, not even the Edison Guard, none of these guys were able to come on top. And of course, like anyone, if I wanted to, I could, for example, bring out all random other units. For example, I can bring out HRE footmen at arms, maybe even their foot knights, and then I can bring out other units like the Lithuanian noble infantry, whether to increase the stats of the Janissary heavy infantry. For example, that would be called stat padding, which I'm not going to do. I basically gave out the best units that you will be playing with in Stainless Steel 6.4 late game wise. And for late game wise, especially here, for just straight up quality, the Janissary Heavy Infantry have proven their worth to be called the best infantry unit in the game, considering everything else that has been said about them. Of course, they have lost against those 3 specific units, but barely lost, and they were still using the same model as the Janissary Heavy Infantry. And as the Janissary Supremacy League has stated to tell me, Cope Europeans, the Janissary Heavy Infantry are the best units in the game.